Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers punched their ticket to the championship game, 133-89, I believe that is, 133-89, which would give it to be a 44-point win for the Lakers. We lost by 44 to Philly. We won by 44 to the Pellies. And I'm BDF44. Thank you for coming to my channel. I'm a very happy individual, to say the least. This was a game that at halftime, I felt like we were really firmly in control, but then we went on a ridiculously, I'm not going to say historic because I'm not sure it's historic, but it was ridiculous third quarter where we went on a 40, I believe it was 41-17. I think that was what the quarter ended up being, our differential to theirs. I think it was either 41-43. I think it was 41, I'm not sure, but somewhere in there to 17 points. We just dominated on a whole nother level after we got out of the locker room. I mean, it was ridiculous. LeBron James played like the most valuable player in the league today, man. He really did. 30 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, no turnovers, 9 of 12 shooting, 4 of 4 from the 3 of 3 from the free throw line. I think it was 3 of 3. I don't remember his free throws, but he didn't miss. So, yeah, he was even better than that, to be honest with you. Like, the stats don't tell you how much of an impact he actually had on this game. The stats were impressive, but he was way more impressive than those stats even were, honestly. I mean, he dominated. I think it was Reggie Miller that said he took the life and the energy out of the Pelicans early in the game with his intensity and his focus. He just brought it to them, and he was playing with pace. And I thought this was one of my favorite Bron games, man. This really was one of my favorite Bron games. I've seen Bron play well in a Laker uniform before, and I don't know where this ranks, but given that this is a one-and-done situation, I didn't really love the matchups to start this game. But I told you guys that I thought our experience, particularly Bron's experience, was a good betting tool. If you wanted to bet on this game, you probably want to bet on the Lakers because of him. And, man, did he come out and not disappoint at all. Not at all, man. Got to give Taurean Prince some love, man. He hit 5 threes, 15 points, no turnovers as well. I was cussing and fussing about playing Taurean Prince, but I also left room for the fact is if he's shooting well, then all of that would be out the window. And he shot extremely well. He had a very, very, very good Taurean Prince game. He had a good game for anybody, really, shooting the basketball. And so I couldn't have been more pleased with his minutes out there. Austin Reeves, 17 points, 7 assists. Don't remember what he did on the boards, but he was definitely fantastic as well. So we loved what we saw from him. Anthony Davis, 15 points, 16 boards. I think that's how it went. Either 16 points or 15 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 5 assists. Phenomenal assisting LeBron James play. I don't love that he only had 16 points, which I think that's what that was. But I also saw throughout the course and the flow of the game that we weren't really trying to go to him. We were more so running things through Bron and running things through Austin. D'Lo shot the ball very well as well. I don't quite remember what he did shooting the ball, but he was very effective tonight shooting. Turnovers were a bit much. I think he had about 4 turnovers. It wasn't his greatest game, but he hit the shots we needed him to hit, and he kept that going for us in a way that was complimentary to everyone else who was shooting well. Rui Hachimura, even though he did a lot of what he did, his killing in garbage time, I thought ultimately he was very effective. Mask Rui really helped us. And I just thought we really took it to this team. You know, CJ McCollum had a bad CJ game. I told you that was key. He was 4 of 14. So him being inefficient, I pretty much thought we would have a good shot at winning this game if that were the case. Zion had a very quiet night. It seemed like his energy was the one that was really taken out by some of this. Drew a couple early charges, and I just felt like he was demoralized after that. B.I., I halfway don't even remember B.I. being on the floor, to be honest with you. I really don't, man. I just thought that our team just, we brought a level of intensity that I think we wish we could have brought to the Denver Nuggets game. That's kind of how I looked at this. It was almost like an extension of the Western Conference Finals. And as I told you in one of the videos that I made earlier today, I felt like if we were healthy with Bron and AD not having those foot injuries, that series would have went differently. And this is what I think we would have brought to the table if we would have had a healthy Bron, a healthy AD. it just wasn't meant to be. But I would love to run it back with Denver the way we played tonight. I would love to run that series back right now. Like, start that series tomorrow and see, don't we come out there with a different intensity, especially now that we got a guy like Cam Reddish, who makes really a whole difference defensively out there. And, of course, Taurean Prince, when he's shooting like this, that's also another asset to have on this team. And this is more the vision I had for our team. I think everybody did, really, but just having more of a opportunity to kind of give guys in-game rest. I can't stress that enough. When you bring your team back fully healthy, you don't have to rely upon guys like Christian Wood. You know, you can have a guy like Taurean Prince. If he's shooting well, you keep him out there. If not, you can move away from him. If Austin is struggling, he can be moved away from. But you don't likely see Austin struggle as much because some of the responsibilities that otherwise he would have are now relying upon other guys to do, so he don't have to do as much. He can kind of focus in on what it is he does, giving him stronger legs to shoot and defend in various different things. So he complements the guys who do the dirty work better by contributing to the dirty work and doing some of the polished work as well, if that makes any sense. But if he has to be responsible for so much dirty work, he tends to struggle. And I think that's what we saw throughout the course of this series. The season started. So it's wonderful to have Vando back, being able to sub him in and some of the things that he did defensively on the boards. It doesn't even really matter how well he's playing. It's just about how he's out there helping and affecting things and letting other guys rest in certain situations. And so I thought that he played good with the minutes that we gave him. But we didn't need to rely upon him as much because Taurean was playing so well. And Austin was playing so well, and Braun was playing so well, that kind of thing. So when you have it clicking like this, Los Angeles Lakers shot 48% from behind the arc. We actually kept up our shooting percentage because we were shooting, 52% or something like that from the three at halftime. So we kept that going all the way through. Shot above 52% from the field. So our shooting numbers were polar opposites to what you saw against the Phoenix Suns, where we couldn't throw a rock in the ocean, but we played excellent defense. Tonight it all came together, and that's why we had such a lopsided victory here, 44 points. I don't know what it is with these numbers, man, to have had a 44-point loss and a 44-point win basically within a matter of 2 weeks. Is that what this is? Like, I don't know what to say about that, but I definitely appreciate that we're on this side of it in this particular game. I wouldn't have flip-flopped it, I'll tell you that, because we definitely want this NBA Cup, for which we are one basketball game away from having, man. I can't believe it. The Lakers are not only dominating a basketball game like this, but it actually meant something very special. And somewhere in the third quarter, when the lead ran all the way up to like 40, you almost forgot that you were in a game like that. A winner-go-home type Game 7 type game, because Pelicans really did not match that intensity in any way. And our Lakers were playing so great on both sides of the floor. I mean, we out-rebounded them by like 17 boards. And the shooting numbers, I mean, we didn't shoot as many shots as them, but we shot so efficiently that it really made up the difference in a major way, as you could very well see by the score. So I don't think we could be much more happy than we were. We had garbage time in a game like this where we saw Jalen Hood-Schifino, Christian Wood get some minutes. Max Lewis played well with the minutes given. Actually, I wanted to say Max Christie played well with the minutes given, but Max Lewis was out there, did some things too. But I really liked what I saw from Max Christie. He was aggressive on both sides of the floor, trying to gain confidence for that jump shot. Some of them fell, some of them didn't, but I thought he gave us good minutes. You know, you just love the fact that we were able to rest in this game. You know, this is a week where we want to get rest. And though we find ourselves getting an extra game this season because we happen to be the team in a championship game, we're finding that we were able to get rest in this particular one. So that is a big deal. The Lakers actually are playing 83 games this season because we happen to be the team that made it to the championship of this round for this tournament. And we wouldn't have it any other way. We're extremely excited about that. Nobody can say that we were shooed in by the referees or anything like that. If you saw how LeBron James was playing, you understood that he was not going to be denied tonight. He was not going to be denied in any way, shape, or form. He was going to win this basketball game. And with that level of intensity and that experience that he's had, making 10 NBA finals, however many it's been in his career, you could just clearly see he was taking this to that level of intensity and seriousness. And, his physicality on Zion Williamson drawing 3 fouls, 3 charging fouls in the first half, boxing out and things like that. I mean, like I said, the stats were impressive, but they weren't as impressive as he was watching him. He was even more impressive than those statistics, man. And so to say he gets the game ball is understatement. Clearly that's his. And I'm very pleased, man. I'm very pleased with my team putting ourselves in a position to be this competitive. And we take these tournament games very seriously, man. I shouldn't be as surprised, but I am surprised at how dominant we were tonight, man. I really am. Especially since I didn't love the matchups just in general on paper. You would think the Pelicans being healthy would be able to do a bit more against us. But we shell-shocked them, man. We came out with such a force of intensity and defense and well-placed shot selection and then hitting those shots on top of that. That young team just did not have any idea what the heck they were dealing with. They didn't know what to do with that. And that's exactly how you want to bring it into a Game 7 type situation against a team that doesn't have the experience you do. You want to jump on top of them early and get in their head about just how futile any effort they would provide you would otherwise be. And it was total and utter domination, man. I don't think you can describe this as anything less than that. It feels good to be on this side of it because, of course, we dealt with that against the Philadelphia 76ers, as already mentioned. And, of course, we weren't fully healthy in that game as well. But I tell you, this just goes to show you what this team can do when they're all focused and when they have their intensity about them. And then when you consider that Anthony Davis didn't really have a game like that, it should scare you even more. Because if he's having a night like that, like he's capable of having while Bron is playing like this, I can totally see the Los Angeles Lakers being a very dominant basketball team all the way through the playoffs. And so that's what I was explaining in the halftime video. I encourage everybody to watch. I don't think this team is anything less than an NBA championship contender when we're fully healthy, based on what I've been seeing over the last 3 games. The defense we put on the Phoenix Suns, even though we couldn't throw a rock in the ocean, as already said, was NBA championship level defense. And the game before that, we dominated quite a bit against the Houston Rockets. When we were fully healthy, we saw how we looked against real wings, who we'd had trouble with all season long. Bring Vando back, bring Rui back, and suddenly you see everybody slot in properly. You see Anthony Davis's defensive impact, heighten even more. Cam Reddish, all these guys, Austin Reeves, they slip back into their regular roles. And you're just seeing what the team is supposed to really look like. One of the deepest teams, if not the deepest team in basketball. And so I would not, I know we have a hard game to play against the Pacers. We will not take them lightly. Tyrese Halliburton is an utter superstar, and he's proving that in real time. And we saw that tonight in another stellar performance, knocking off Giannis and Dame. So we know there's a chance that we have a big problem with him, but he's got just as big a problem with us. And there's no question about that. And I think he understands that when he sees how we just dropped a 44-point victory on the Pelicans' heads in a championship-level game. So a winner go home, rather, in a semifinal. So I don't know, man. I didn't see this game going this way. I thought this was going to be a nail-biter. I was worried we were going to have trouble. I knew we would bring intensity, but I had no idea that the Pelicans would be so incapable of matching that intensity. I thought they would have some fight, and they didn't, man. They really didn't. They didn't have any fight. Bron snatched their soul right out of their chest, and they just had to run around for an extra quarter after they were already gone, and that's kind of what it was. It was just complete garbage time. 9 minutes into the third quarter, it was over. Like completely over. They could have called the game right there. We were just beating up on them at that point. And so I'm proud, man. I'm proud. I'm happy. It feels good to be at the top of something. We still have one more game to win, of course, but it feels good to be elite, even though it's early in the season and a lot is going to change between now and June, to say the least. It is only December, but the in-season tournament matters. And we're in the finals for the in-season tournament. And I think when you consider the intensity of every team that put themselves, in a position to try to fight for this thing, it's going to matter, man. It's going to matter. It's going to be something to have. And so Hopefully we can capture it. I know the Pacers want it bad. We historically don't play great against the Pacers, to be honest with you. We have been losing games against the Pacers over the last couple of years that just make you scratch your head, including Nembhard shooting us down at home last year, who may not actually play in that game. He got a little hurt in this one, rolled his ankle. So that's going to be a big deal to see who they have on the injury report. But, we're this close now. You didn't let us you let LeBron be this close to a trophy, and it's going to be very difficult not seeing him get it, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. As great as Halliburton is playing, this is a different level here with the Lakers having this type of defensive ability. And, our shooting comes and goes, but you can clearly see where we can do great things, especially since LeBron has revamped that three-point shot. And boy, did he do that. 3 straight threes rang off in the second quarter. Just phenomenal shooting by the King all year long, really, for his standards. A couple blemishes over the last couple weeks, but the majority of the year he's been shooting basically career highs in percentages from behind the arc. So if he's shooting like this, we're very, very, very likely to do damage throughout the course of this season, man. Very likely to do damage, and maybe even more than that. So couldn't be more pleased, man. Couldn't be more pleased. Glad Austin Reeves is shooting with confidence. He looked pretty good tonight. He's been having a really good stretch of games since everybody came back. As I said, D'Lo's shot was falling. Taurean Prince was fantastic shooting the ball tonight. Couldn't have won it without him. No way we win that without him hitting them corner threes. And, I like what I saw from AD in every area but scoring the ball, as I've already said. He didn't score a whole lot, but he really helped us on the boards. The defense was there, the assists, making plays for other people. I was pleased with that. And so, this team defense is just elite, man. When you see Vando, Cam, Max Christie, obviously Anthony Davis, Bron, like I said, drawing charges and stuff like that. When you see this team really step into what it is they're truly supposed to be about defensively, we're scary, man. Vando, Max Christie, Anthony Davis, and it's one more player that I want to say. But you see what this team can do defensively. You understand that we're elite defensively because we have legitimate elite defensive players. And so that, my friends, is something that you can hang your hat on and bet on the Lakers every night. If we could just keep our wings healthy and continue to shoot good enough, you know what I mean? We're not going to shoot like this every night, which was excellent. But if we shoot good enough, we should be able to hold teams under their average every night, and get ourselves an opportunity through this thing to maybe get our chance at a championship. So I know it's early to be thinking about that. We've taken some bad losses this year. We've had some horrible injury issues and things like that. So you don't want to start screaming championships in December just because you won a game against a Pelican team that really wasn't ready for you. But this is the type of intensity that this team is capable of. I don't know how many teams could beat us if we play this well. I really don't. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I don't know who could beat us when we play like this. So that's really what it comes down to. I'm happy we're healthy. I'm sure when you look back on the Western Conference Finals, we got swept. You think about Bron's foot injury. You think about AD's foot injury. And then you fast forward to the way they look tonight healthy. And I'm telling you, it would have been a different story for old Jokic, man. It would have been a different story. I don't care what anyone says. That would have been a different series if we had this Bron and this Anthony. And I think we've done a good job putting together the additions to this team. Max getting in there, Cam getting in there. There's some serious enforcements defensively that you have in your regular rotation now. The length of Christian Wood, the shooting ability and length of Taurean Prince. Those are players that weren't a part of that series. We're a much better team this year with those guys on this team, and still some of those pieces that we still had from last year, like Austin and Rui and Vando, also being a part of this. So I just think we're a better team this year than we were last year when we're fully healthy. And who knows what Gabe Vincent actually looks like in this rotation. But I know he can't hurt, especially since he's uber defensive, talented guard himself, who could shoot some shots and even run the score up even more. So if he comes together with the rest of this team and we can find good rotations to put him in, I just don't know how good this team could be, man. I don't know. I don't see why we can't dream of Larry O'Brien, given the fact the way we've seen ourselves over the last 3 games, especially tonight. We should be dreaming of Larry O'Brien. So let's stay healthy. Obviously, we got a big game on Saturday against the against the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton and Mathurin and Miles Turner and Buddy Yield. Maybe Nembhard plays, maybe he doesn't. Naismith most definitely. TJ McConnell, who was spectacular in the game tonight. So, we know we have a heavy dose of intensity to match. And they ain't going to give us the cup for beating the Pelicans by 44, but they will give us the cup for beating the Pacers on Saturday. So we better be ready for that. And I think we will be, man. I'm excited about that. We walked out of this game healthy. Nobody tweaked anything. We got rest for our starters with garbage time. So there's a lot to love about how this played out, man. Congratulations to the LA Lakers for getting to the championship game of the in-season tournament, the very first in-season tournament. And as I already said, you give LeBron James an opportunity at a cup, and I think he's going to go get it. I really do. I'd be very surprised if we don't get it at this point with the intensity that we brought to this game and the level of defense that we could bring to a basketball floor right now being fully healthy. And, yeah, man, I'm excited, man. Brian, of course, gets that game ball. And, I thought the atmosphere was great. They tried to make it so that we couldn't put on our black jerseys, but the yellow jerseys worked just fine. We played even better with them on. And you just can't say enough about a guy playing at this level at 39 years of age. Arguably the greatest athlete ever at 39, or maybe any age. He's one of the greatest athletes to ever walk this earth, man. And he's proving that with not only what he's already done, but how he's playing right now, and the longevity and what you could see him doing going forward. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Michael Jordan has some real competition, and it's starting to bleed past just you having a perfect finals record, to be honest with you. Because we're getting to a space where it's like he's doing stuff that nobody else has done, in a sense that he's continuing to play at a MVP level well into the end of his 30s, man. And that's something that nobody else could do. And when you start considering a guy like Michael Jordan, yeah, he kicked butt, kicked tail, and did all this, that, and third to no end. And it was in a finals record that can never be broken, 6-0. But longevity, fam. Longevity is starting to be the conversation now. It ain't, and how he's running past kids. I mean, it's not like he's just playing at an all-star level. He's arguably the best conditioned athlete in the entire association. When you see how he was running the floor tonight, I mean, it's starting to get a little scary for me. As somebody who was certain that Michael Jordan was the greatest player of all time, games like this make me say, you know what? He's not stopping. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.